So the last session on this dealt with the expectation of perfection and how we can set ourselves up in terms of how we approach our business with that level of or commitment to high performance and perfection. And in startup, it's a critical piece. Today, I want to get into something that I've a sort of meme per se that I have said really since we started franchising, and that is the need for dedication and dependability, and then therefore consistency. But what I've always espoused to anyone that was interested in becoming a franchisee, or I guess anyone considering going into a business, is if you aren't planning on being the most dedicated person and dependable person in your business for 5 to 7 to 10 years, don't even start. Don't even start, right? I think a lot of people come in and they think that there's going to be a year or two of hard work, and then the thing will sort of run itself, and they get to live the quote entrepreneurial good life, right? That's not my experience, and I don't really know anyone that's lived that experience, right? So this concept of dedication and dependability, one of the things that there's sort of a myth in being an entrepreneur, which is it gives you freedom, right? It's freedom to set your own schedule, freedom to not have a boss. The problem with that is that you now have thousands of bosses or you work for your employees, you work for your customers, you work for your vendors, you work for and that's the mentality it takes in terms of building a thriving business, is that you've got to take care of, in relation to your business, you have to take care of everybody else. And I remember one time I was talking to my brother, and he worked for these large corporations, and I said, it must be a great feeling to have your boss say to you, take the weekend, have a great weekend, and relieve you sort of maybe some stress and anxiety, right? Whereas when you own your own business, our franchise owners, I mean, how many of our franchise owners are going to get the call this weekend? They'll have plans with their family on Saturday. They get the call. They got to go in. They got to run the store. I mean, that is, sure. At the end of the day, like maybe 30 years in right now, I've got more freedom than I did in the first 5 years. But you have to be committed to being available, being present, being dependable within your business for a very, very, very long time. And so the other thing that I advocate in this little section is that, you have to, in terms of being dependable and dedicated, there is, though, the need to regulate your pace. And so, for example, if your car is always running at 6,000 RPMs, you have no throttle to go faster if you need to. And so one of the key things in terms of starting a business, being an entrepreneur, is you do have to learn how to throttle back when you can. And you have to think through those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities so that when you do need to put in full commitment, you have the ability to do it. And that sort of offsets a little bit of this dedication, dependability thing. I mean, it's not like I'm advocating that you have to work 70 hours a week to be a successful entrepreneur. But there are times when you're going to have to work 70 hours a week. So in the moments, you don't have to try to take advantage of those, right? And then finally, I just wanted to I close this section out with sort of a period on this perfection thing. And the thing about perfection is it does set an expectation. And what I find in the world is that in so many ways, what you expect of people, of other people in your life, is oftentimes what they're going to fulfill for you, right? And so when we are in many business owners, you hear them complaining about people and being able to find people, and that's just sort of this constant story that runs in the world. And if you have that take on people, if that's your take, that people are hard, people are difficult, it's quote hard to find good people, that's how your people are going to interact with you. And so this idea of expecting greatness, expecting perfection, when you do that, people step into that. Because I think I end it with this quote, perfection is an elusive goal. You're always striving for it. And people will, no, hang on, sorry, here it is. If you have high expectations and think people are amazing, people will amaze you, right? And that's this concept around like how you expect the world to be, how you expect people to be is how it will be reflected to you. So that's this section. It's called dedication, dependability, with a little period at the end on a rewind into the concept of the expectation of amazing, the expectation of maybe perfection. So